welcome back to my channel. This is Dom and Boxer Rebellion. Wow, I can't wait. So, mentioned many times on the Plastic Crack podcast, if you follow that on a Monday night, 8 p.m. UK time, one of my favourite films is 55 Days at Peking, tracing the siege of the foreign troops and dignitaries holding out in their compound in Peking against the Boxer rebellions, and then the Boxer rebels, and the Imperial Chinese army. And it's I love that film. It's one of the films that I remember as a kid watching on a rainy Sunday afternoon, and the films came on, and I just was mesmerised by it. And also the fact the coalition. You had the Japanese, you had the British, the Russians, the Austro-Hungarians, the Italians, the French. Probably missed something else. All within the forces defending, and even within the British, most of the British coming to relieve Peking were actually Indians. They were the Indian army. So fascinating period. Always loved it. The Boxers. I just love this period very much. Brutal war. Not nice at all. Not that many wars are, to be fair. Anyway, Wargames Atlantic sent me very kindly this box of 30 multi-part hard plastic Boxer troops. And to say I was excited was an understatement. So I thought I'd take you through my unboxing and assembling and show you what they look like when they're painted up. If you fancy that, keep watching. So, this is the new box of figures that Wargames Atlantic have launched. It is part of their Battles in the Age of Empires range, 1815 to 1914. So, in this range, there's a number of different box sets. There's World War One infantry already out and about, but this one really excited me. And anybody who's watched my channel, watched the Plastic Crack, will know that one of my favourite films of all time is 55 Days in Peking, and that's centred around the Boxer Rebellion. What was the Boxer Rebellion? Well, I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail about it because this is an unboxing, but the Boxer Rebellion took place in China between 1899 and 1901. And putting it really simply, it was an anti-Western sort of anti-Christian, anti-Western uprising by the Chinese. Now, in that era, China was dominated by feudal states and had been basically forced into a number of humiliating and somewhat unfair kind of trade agreements with Western powers. And I think on top of that, there was famines, and part of the sort of anti-Christian sentiment against the colonial states caused this uprising. And it started in one of the northern provinces and spread throughout China. It was somewhat encouraged by the Chinese empress of the time, because she saw it as a useful way of trying to deal with the Western incursions into her country. And we'll get into the ins and outs and ups and downs, but basically it was a fairly brutal and fairly short war, which is most notable, apart from the brutality of it. A lot of Christian settlers and traders and what have you were killed. But also there was fairly uniform alliance between the Western powers. So Britain, France, Germany, Japan, Russia, Austria, they all came together, America, all came together to take on the uprising because it was in their interest. But bear in mind the date is 1899, 1901. you're talking about, only a matter of a decade or so before the start of the First World War, when these empires were actually fighting against each other. The war came to an end with a huge 8-nation alliance, which managed to turn back the Chinese and Boxer militia with 20,000 troops from all those different nations. And it's always fascinating me because I just love the colour of the period. As I say, that film particularly got me excited. So when I saw that Wargames Atlantic were going to be doing Boxers, I just had to get me some. So, and that's enough kerfuffle. If you want to look it up, go and read some of the books on it. It's a fascinating period, really interesting. And indeed, a lot of these figures I think that you get in this will be suitable for a multitude of other periods. They say themselves these are for the Boxer period, but it wouldn't take an awful lot to be used at different periods in all. So what do you get? Well, you get 30 plastic figures, 28mm plastic figures, and you can see the artwork here. There's a range of from the sort of tiger warriors through to just sort of normal militia. Now, this was a particular sect of, I think they were Hindus, who fought for the Chinese and actually were one of the more effective troop types. They had a lot of rifles and were probably the hardest for the Allies to deal with. Let's turn the box over. Here you go. It says, The Dragon Awakes. China, 1899. A popularist movement secretly supported by the Empress Dowager had risen up to expel all foreigners from Chinese soil. Called the Yangquang Fist of Harmony and Justice, but Boxers by the foreigners because the members of the sect practiced martial arts. The groups attacked both foreign residents of China and Chinese who had converted to Christianity. The uprising culminated the siege of Beijing, with a small force of foreign troops surrounded and besieged. A relief force was quickly cobbled together by the 8-nation alliance made up of Britain, France, Germany, Japan, Russia, Austria-Hungary, Italy, and the United States. After brutal fighting, the Legate Quarter was liberated in August 1900. This plastic box allows you to build up to 30 warriors with options to create the famed Kansu Braves. That's the guys with the turbans and the rifles. The Tiger Men, who are another particular brand, as I say. The box can also be used for other periods like the Opium Wars, the Taipan Rebellion, the First Sino-Chinese War, and into the 20th century. So there you go. I'm going to open it up. There we go. Nice stack of plastic. So as I said, 30 figures in here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprues. So my maths means there must be 5 on each. And indeed there is. You've got a multitude of options for heads. You've got the Tiger Warriors here at the top. There's a bit of flashing around those, which is a bit of a shame. More sort of traditional coolie helmet hats on there. Now these guys have got the very much in period sort of the hairstyle that was very much in vogue, where the hair was sort of shaved off the front and then a big plait hang down the back. So that's them there. There are the Kansu Warrior Braves there, a couple of heads for those. So it looks like you can do 2 Kansu from each sprue, which means you're not going to have an awful lot of riflemen, because I think there is only 2 rifles. There's one there and one there. There's a guy with some sort of looks like a Mauser machine pistol there. You've got a trident spear, another spear, like the tufts on the end of the spear is really good. A halberd, very much an oriental halberd. A big old cleaver there. Talk about cleavers, this guy's got a proper Proper chopper. So it looks like there's plenty of options you can do. You've got body wise, you've got this guy who's got the sort of more uniform type, so with the extra bits of cloth hanging down his knees, which I think is better for the sort of more regular type formations. This guy's just wearing some kind of loose shirt vest thing. This guy again. Yeah, nice detail on these figures. They look really good. Guy running, and another one with a sort of material on his legs. So I think all the sprues are identical. Oh, there's also a nice shield option here. Just the one. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it looks like they're all identical. So I guess we're going to have to make some of these up. See what they're like. Let's get ready. Okay, so I have punched out various options. Don't often do this actually, and I should do it more often. It just sort of having the sets already prepared. So I'm going to do this guy as one of the rifle armed. So he's got, should just fit straight over the top like that. Looks like it fits fairly snugly, so let's get some glue on that. Just using this Tamiya stuff because frankly the one I normally use, the nozzle had all got all jammed up and I couldn't be bothered to go and set fire to it, which is the best way. Okay, so that goes on alright. A little bit of a gap at the back there. Cool. There we go, and we'll stick his head on. So the heads seem to go on quite nicely because they've got an indent in them which sits on the post of the what would be the neck, like that, which does mean, if you've got glue that works of course, they should be fairly straightforward to fit on. One man down. Let's do the Tiger Man. So I tidied up these. They weren't actually too bad when I got into them, the figures. So let's start with his head. This time, that tiger head. There we go. And I'm going to give him this big machete. That's slightly annoying. I wanted to put this machete right up the top, like he was about to really go for it and swing it, but unfortunately the head gets in the way. See? Unless you go all the way back here, in which case it looks unnatural. Yeah, see, that doesn't work. So that's a bit of a bummer. Maybe it's just that particular figure. Right, so I've done this guy with sort of what is his left arm raised to a fist, and then the so the blade has to be downwards, which is a real shame. I'm guessing there's another hand that I can put that would connect up to the handle of the hilt of the sword. Slight criticism of the face. It just looks a bit. You would have thought it could be snarling a bit. He's got a friggin' tiger outfit on. Not sure I like the connection there either. to do a bit of filling in there, which I hate doing. Okay, let's leave that one to dry. Let's try this guy, who I'm going to sort of have as a sort of a bit of a leader of the gang, because he's picked up the Mauser like that. On the other hand, I'm going to give him the butcher's cleaver. Now this one, because he's single-handed, I'm going to put it behind his back like that. Let's put the head on. There we go. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to try and put the ponytail on. So let's do another one with the rifle. If you wanted to do a load of riflemen, you're going to have limited opportunity with these, because there aren't actually that many, because there's only 2 rifles. You can swap the bodies around, but you could only do so many rifle positions, which is a bit of a shame. But I guess they couldn't have everything in the boxes. Not sure that's quite the right arm position for him, but it'll do. So that's that guy, that guy, that guy. Oops, this one's not very... Doesn't want to stand up, that one. Don't you know you're immune to the bullets? Alright, and the final one I'm going to do with the big machete. Or big halberd, sorry. They're tricky to line up perfectly and still make sure you haven't got gaps on the shoulders. I know you can fill them, but who wants to do that, hey? Okay, I think that'll do. It's not quite in the hand how I would like it to be, but every time I move it one way, it pops the other. And we're going to have a traditional Chinese hat on this fella. There we go. And we're going to wait for him to dry to put the ponytail on. So we're going to do that on this guy, because he should be nice and dry by now. It's one good thing about the warm weather, the glue dries quickly. So here we go. There we go. Put a little bit more around there just to make sure the contact point is perfectly fine. Those are going to come off, aren't they, on the tables? No doubt about it. Let's see if this guy's... I don't know the way his head's set anyway. Right, they're fiddly little so-and-sos to get on there, but I think it's worth it persisting. So there's my Chinaman with the halberd and the Chinese hat. So there we go. That's the 5 off the first sprue done. I'm going to make up the rest, prime them up, and then we'll have a go at painting them.
It's the relief boat! They're ours!
And here we go, finished painting up the box, all assembled, all painted. This is the Kansu Braves. Now, a bit contradictory on the, let's say, uniforms they wear, the outfits they wear. So on the box, they've got them in these blue sort of cat suits with the yellow lining. But I've also seen them in yellow. Some of the Osprey illustrations have them as wearing yellow, sort of overall type affairs. So I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I quite like the blue and the yellow. I thought it worked quite well, so that's how I've done them. Just undercoated them with contrast blue, dark blue, and then highlighted them up with, I think this is supposed to be dark blue Vallejo, and then trimmed just with the normal yellow. Now, the thing with the boxers, they were renowned for, is that they all had some degree of red on them. So I've given every one of these a red sash to make them stand out as boxers. And they've got sort of black slippery affairs on, and you can see a little bit of undergarments coming below, which I've done as a white colour. Nice figures. As I said, my only criticism of this box, and it is only a tiny criticism really, is if you want to do more rifle-armed Kansu Braves, there is only 2 sets of arms. So you've got the guys, this sort of pointing type one, and this one holding his rifle low. And so there's a limit on the poses you can get. Now, I don't think that's necessarily a problem for the games I'm planning to play with this. I think I'm going to play, this. I've got 12 out of this box. That's all the riflemen they have, and most of the actual boxer troops didn't use any kind of firearms. Although I'm going to take a little bit of artistic with some of my forces and say they're sort of local villagers who've got hold of old muskets and things and firing, so there will be 1 or 2 in my forces. But as I say, if you wanted to do more Kansu Braves, then there is a limit with these boxes, how many you can have. And the poses are fairly limited that you can get. But that is only a small criticism. I think they're really nice models. I like the faces on them, and I like the ease of construction. So that's the Kansus, and these are the Tiger Men. So again, within the box, you've got enough heads to make 6 of these, so that's what I've done. Now, traditionally in the Chinese culture, the Chinese army of the period, the Tiger Men were sort of a force that was sent out in advance of the main body of infantry to break up cavalry charges. So if a cavalry unit came at them, they had these sort of, I think they're sort of like Barolos, I can't think of the word, the South American sort of, they're balls on the end of rope, and they had a similar kind of thing, as I understand it, the Tiger Men, and they used to use them and long pointy sticks to try and break up a cavalry charge ahead of the main body of the Chinese army. So I think I'm just going to mix these into my main body of troops just to sort of make them look well, but they just add that little bit of character. Again, gone with the those that have it anyway, gone with the red sash just to show that they are truly boxer troops. Because you've only got 6 heads, there's you can do all sorts of poses, which is nice with these, because pretty much every type of body will go with those heads, so makes it a lot easier than it does with the Braves. And here's the remainder of the box. The Wargames Atlantic box gives you 30 figures, so I've got my 12 Kansu warriors, my 6 Tiger Men, and then I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12, yeah, that's right, it's 30, gives me 30, these are the 12 boxers, that's what I'm trying to say. So again, I thought these were wonderful models. In fact, I've actually got 2 more boxes, the box they very kindly sent me, and then I bought 2 of my own. and I'm going to probably turn the majority into boxer troops, because I think for the games I'm planning, having a mass of boxers, all with hand weapons, is going to be terrific for the game. I just love some of these. I mean, this guy with a cleaver is brilliant. The two-handed chopper blokes, the trident. I mean, there's such character in these models, and I really enjoyed putting them together and painting them up. I thought when I started, I thought, oh, I'm not sure I'm really going to enjoy painting these. But actually, I just loved it. Looking at the books, they tended to wear a lot of fairly colourful outfits, although probably quite muddy. And I just let myself go mad, really, with various colours. Lots of greens, reds, off-whites, whites, black, and just sort of tried to make it a little bit colourful, really. Individually based, because I'm planning skirmish games with these. But overall, really nice figures. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, share, subscribe, hit that whatever button, notification button, so you know when I'm putting stuff up. As I say, I will be planning to do some battles using these figures. I'm just trying to work out exactly what rule system I use and how to adapt it. Any thoughts on what rules to use for Boxer Rebellion, let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know what you think. Is this a period that fascinates you? It certainly does me. Charlton Heston, David Niven, who can not be impressed with this period? Anyway, thanks for watching. See you all soon. Bye.